No more social justice, no more political correctness, no more toxic ideological garbage that infected the department. No more identity months, no more DEI offices, no more dudes in dresses.
I talk a lot about unearned arrogance of white men. Pete Hegseth is the poster boy for unearned arrogance from white men. He gave a little speech yesterday to the 4th annual Northeast Indiana Defense Summit or something. I think that Northeast Indiana Defense Summit, you know, the Northeast, not the Northwest Indiana Defense. It's the Northeast. Talk about really getting down to brass tacks. And in this speech, like a half-hour remarks that Pete Hegseth made, he made a bunch of, as you would expect, very troubling comments. He talked about he feels like where we are in America is like a 1939 moment, which if you're brushed up on your World War II history, 1939 was the year that Adolf Hitler began his invasion, his territorial expansion. He invaded Poland and began to try to take over the world. It's when they started in earnest the plot and scheme of genocide to eradicate the world of the Jewish population. That's when it started in earnest. And Pete Hegseth this is a 1939 moment. Pretty alarming. And then, as you would expect, he goes into this bigot-laced nonsense, talking about ridding ourselves of debris, clearing out the debris. And we're going to talk about all of this. There's some very troubling, more troubling than the normal dipshittery from Pete Hegseth. Let's watch this clip, and we will break it down and talk about it on the other side.
This feels like a 1939 type moment, or hopefully a 1981 type moment, where America needs to lead and rebuild to ensure that we maintain that peace through strength. Enemies are gathering and threats are growing. We have to prepare now. So if you're putting America first and the roadmap is peace through strength, the third ingredient President Trump has injected is good old-fashioned Indiana common sense. Common sense is back at the White House and it's back at the Pentagon. Common sense means putting warfighting, lethality, as the senator mentioned, training, discipline, accountability, readiness at the forefront of everything we do at the Department of War. That means no more social justice, no more political correctness, no more toxic ideological garbage that infected the department. As I've said before, but we repeat and we repeat because as a good old television host, you know it takes a while for it to actually sink in. No more identity months, no more DEI offices, no more dudes in dresses. No more climate change. It actually was a thing. It actually was a thing. No more climate change worship, no more division, no more delusions, gender delusions or quotas, no more distraction. As the chairman of the Joint Chiefs puts it, Pete, you're clearing out the debris. That's what it is. We're clearing out the debris from out front of NCOs and officers. We're done with that stuff. It doesn't take a PhD to understand that sergeants don't need sensitivity training.
Pete would be shit out of luck if anything he did required a PhD. Non-smart guy, Pete Hegseth. Talk show host by his own admission, this old talk show host, who's now the Secretary of Defense of these United States. A man who didn't achieve advanced rank while in the Army. He's a major, which, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. He's a major. It's a higher rank than I was. I was enlisted. I did the actual work when I was in the Marine Corps. Some very troubling things here. As good as a good old television host to the PhD remark, just maligning a specialty, maligning education, maligning intellectualism, whatever. It's just, I got common sense. I don't need them vaccines. It's kind of that attitude from someone who's leading a more than $1 trillion budget per year in the Pentagon. This is who we saw fit to go through the confirmation process in the Senate and name the defense secretary or secretary of war. with all of his jingoistic nonsense and weird buzzwords, lethality. He constantly talks about lethality. The only thing lethal that surrounds you, Pete Hegseth, is the fact that you have a real threat of breaking those legs because of how skinny they are. That's lethality. I am more concerned about the 1939 stuff. There's another spot in the speech that I didn't pull because it's kind of really a deep dive, kind of a deep cut, where he's talking about how many troops in the United States military are identifying as Nordic pagans, which is, if you know your white supremacy lore, if you know what fuels the mythology surrounding the Third Reich characters, they all believe that they are Nordic. It's a weird white supremacy deep cut. And he's just saying it like it's a normal thing, when it's a problem. But clearing out debris, he goes into. Clearing out the debris while leading a Pentagon that is literally erasing the contributions of black service members, of women, of LGBTQ troops.